Good morning, everyone, and once again, welcome to Mornings with Marilyn. I'm on a little late today because my battery on my computer seems to be going out, so hopefully I'll be able to be on this whole time this morning. But thank you for joining me, and I want to share a story with you today. This took place back in, I believe it was 1979, and I was going to be all alone for Christmas. My children were going to spend Christmas with their father in Connecticut. I was living in Cincinnati, and I had no other family in Cincinnati at all. So I was going to be all alone for Christmas. And I didn't want to feel alone, although I was going to be alone. And so it was about maybe 3 days before Christmas, and I started to talk to the Lord about it. And I told the Lord that I had a marvelous opportunity to have a pity party. But I didn't want to have a pity party because I know God doesn't come to pity parties. So I definitely didn't want to be alone without God. So I asked the Lord, I said, Lord, show me something for Christmas Day so that I don't have to feel alone. Well, it was the morning of Christmas Eve, and I was reading my morning devotionals, and it was a devotional from Billy Graham. And as I was reading this devotional, there was one sentence that just jumped off the page. And the sentence said, as long as there are people to be loved, you need never to feel alone. And I thought, wow, that's a powerful statement. As long as there are people who need to be loved, you need never to feel alone. And almost instantly, I knew exactly what I was going to do so that I wouldn't have to feel alone on Christmas Day. So Christmas morning, I woke up and I was so excited. I called my children on the phone and just to wish them a Merry Christmas and told them what I was going to do for Christmas Day. After I got off the phone, I got dressed and I left the house and I went to a hospital that was about maybe only 3 or 4 blocks from where I lived. I went into the hospital and just got on the elevator and just went to a floor at random, and then I went up to the nurse's station and I asked her, I said, is there anybody here that's alone today that I could visit with? Well, the nurse was kind of surprised, and she says, well, aren't you with your family? And I said, no, not today. And I thought if there's anybody here alone, I could be with them so they don't have to feel alone. And she said, well, yes, we actually have 2 people on this floor, and they're both elderly people, and they are going to be alone because the weather is kind of bad here today, and their families are not going to be able to drive up. So they're going to be alone. So the first person I went to visit was an elderly gentleman. And he talked about how long he'd been married to his wife and talked about his wife. And then we just had a lovely conversation. But every once in a while he would stop in the middle of our conversation and he would say, now, why did you say you came to see me today? And I said, I just didn't want you to be alone on Christmas Day. He just kept saying, well, thank you, thank you, thank you. And then we would talk and he said, now tell me again, why did you come today? And I said, I just didn't want you to be alone. Well, then pretty soon I could tell he was getting tired, and so I blessed him and I left, and he thanked me for being with him. And then the nurse directed me to another person's room, and it was another elderly woman. Boy, did she love to talk, and just talk. And she kept saying to me, now, why did you come to visit me today? And I said, because I didn't want you to be alone today. And she kept saying, God bless you, God bless you, God bless you. And she was, well, both of them, they were just beaming that I had come to visit them that day. Well, when I left the hospital that afternoon, or that was late that morning, when I left the hospital, I had so much joy in my heart for being with those people that I couldn't have felt alone even if I wanted to. And I call that my Hallmark Christmas, because it was the most joyful Christmas I ever had, because it was all about giving to somebody else. And I remember that sentence that I read in that devotional book. As long as there are people to be loved, you need never to feel alone. And so just giving love to those people that day at the hospital was so much an inward joy that, it was the best Christmas I ever had. Even though that afternoon, in the natural, I was alone, I had so much joy of the Lord in my heart. It was just wonderful. Excuse me. So when I called my children that evening, they were so happy to know that I had a very happy day. But it was, I mean, super happy. It was a Hallmark Christmas. So if you feel alone this Christmas, and many people do, if they feel alone at Christmas time, just remember, as long as there are people to be loved, you need never to feel alone. And find someone who might be alone that you could go and be with them, or do something nice, something really, really special for someone who's going to be alone. And just watch how the Lord will flood your heart with so much joy and so much fulfillment. You know, because Christmas is, it's all about giving. So God bless you today. I hope this was a blessing to you. I share this every Christmas because it was my Hallmark Christmas. So thank you for joining me, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.